Hey everybody, welcome to Push Luck video. My name is Eric and this is Comet. Hi, say hi Comet. Alright, today we're looking at a 2016 release by Ravensburger and Kosmos. Alright, this is called Imhotep. Imhotep here. Alright, I'm gonna block comment here. Imhotep. Now this is by designer Phil Walker Harding, who also brought you another one of my games that I liked. It's called Cacao, which I also reviewed in my channel here. Alright, Imhotep is a 2 to 4 player game. It plays about 40 minutes, or you could also knock it out about 40 to 60 minutes, alright, depending on the variant that you're playing. Alright, and it is very backstabby. You're trying to read your opponent's mind, trying to figure out what they're doing, and trying to backstab them, and so that you can get ahead of them and score points. Basically, you have all these little blocks of wood, stone actually. You're trying to move them into building like temples, obelisks, crypts and stuff like that, and then you're trying to be there in the most advantageous spot so they can score the most points, and then you beat opponents. So at the end of 6 rounds, whoever has the most points will win the game. So let's take a look at the game components and how to play the game and my thoughts about the game. Alright, so this is what you get in the game of Imhotep. Now, the components are very nice, very big, very good quality. The cardboards are very nice, thick quality. There are cards as well. There's these ships as well. But the most eye-catching one are these nice, chunky wooden blocks. Alright, they're nice, chunky wooden blocks. There's 4 different colors for 4 different players. Alright, and this is really quite fun to play with. I mean, they're like little mini wooden dice themselves. Alright, so it's very interesting to have such nice, big wooden blocks. And there are cards as well, and yeah, so these are all the components you get in the game. Definitely high quality, definitely what you will expect from Cosmo and Ravensburger game. So let's go to how do you play the game. Alright, so each player will have a starting sled here, where they have some starting blocks of stone, alright, depending on the player order. Alright, the first player will have only 2 stones, next player will have 3 stones, and then next will have 4 stones, and the last player will have 5 stones. Alright, so and then you have you put one of the stones on the scoreboard here, so this is a scoreboard. Alright, and then you shuffle the cards depending on the number of players you have. There'll be a number of turn order cards, which will tell you how many rounds there are left in the game. So 6 rounds, and you have 6 cards here. So at the start of every round, you always reveal a card which will tell you how many ships there are available for this round. Alright, so these are all the ships that are available. So you see that there's 2 4-slot ships, 1 2-slot ship, and 1 1-slot ship. And you place the ships at the side. So you place the ships at the side here. Alright, then you will decide which side you want to play with. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you can play with side A or you can play with side B here. Alright, they have different scoring ways. Alright, if first time you're playing, you can play with side A. Later on, you can experiment with side B, and then you can start to experiment yourself. You can have different variants, like, oh, maybe the market is side A, and then these 2 are side B, and then the last 2 are side A again. So you can play with different ways. You shuffle the market cards and you fill up 4 spaces like so. Alright, I've placed there are 4 different types of market cards. They'll give you different abilities as well. I'll explain what all this does later on. Now, beginning with the start player can choose one of 4 things to do. First thing, they can get more stone from the quarry. Now, whenever you get more stone from a quarry, you can get up to 3 stones from a quarry. So I can take 3 stones, and then you can put it here. Now, each sled you have will only have 5 slots to put stones. So even, let's say for example, the grey player decides to do the get stone from quarry action, he can only fill up to 2. Alright, even though you are supposed to take up to 3, but because you only have 2 slots left in your sled, you can take up to 2. Alright. Next action you can do, you can take 1 of your stones from a sled and put it on any of the ships that have not yet sailed into the different docks of the different locations. So you can see that there's a little nook here where if a ship has sailed, you park them here like so. Alright, so any ships that have not yet sailed will be on this side. You can put 1 of the stones on any of the ship as long as there's a slot available. So for example, if the white player has placed it on this 1-slot ship, alright, no other players can put it on this ship anymore. Next, the other thing you can do is to ship a ship, or move a ship from here into one of the docks here. Alright, the only criteria is if you see each of the ship, there'll be a certain number of requirements. So this means that there must be 3 stones on this ship before the ship can move to any of the docks. The interesting thing about this is also that you can ship any ship that has met the minimum requirement to the docks, regardless of whether you have a stone on it as well. So, for example, if the white player decides, oh, I want to be the boss of this ship, I'll put my stone here. That does not mean that he has the opportunity to ship this ship to where he wants to go. All right. Other players may then, okay, since you did that, I'm going to screw you up, and I'm going to put it somewhere here, and that may be something that you do not want to go. All right. So that's a very interesting mechanism. The next thing you can do is also to play one of the blue color market cards. So there are a few different market cards. All right, the purple gives you points at the end of the game. For example, in this point, number of these statue cards you have at the end of the game will give you a certain amount of points at the end of the game. The red cards, when you get it, you immediately will do something. All right, the green cards also at the end of the game scoring. All right, and the blue cards allow you to do an action. All right, so for example, in this case, you can sail one ship to a site and decide for yourself the order in which to unload the ships, the stones. So I'll focus a bit more on the different sites. So when you choose to sail a ship to a location, all right, now the ships will start to unload their stone. All right, and how do you unload the stone? It depends on the order in which the stones were placed on the ship. Whenever you place a stone on a ship, you place it from the front to the back. When the ship reaches a particular location, all right, the stone will also unload from the front to the back. So the gray player will now get to choose to where they want to place their stone. In places where like the market, for example, if you go to the market, all right, now the one in front, the gray player will get to choose one of these cards. Then the gray player gets to choose again. Then the white player gets to choose, and then the last player, the black stone player, will get to choose the last card. No, not really choose, but he gets the last card. So the order in which you decide to place your stone on the ships is very important, because that will determine how potentially you can score points in each of these 5 different areas. So let's go through the different areas and how they score points. So the first one is market. Again, you just need to get a different just get what card you want depending on the order you're in. Now the obelisks is at the end of the game. How high you are will give you certain points. Alright, so if you're a 4-player game, let me bring it out quickly closer. So if you're a 4-player game, alright, the higher you are, you get 15 points. The highest 15 points, next 10, 5, and then 1. Alright, so it gives you a lot of points. And you just only stack them up on your own area. The burial chamber is kind of interesting because you'll be placing it from column and then row. So in this case, it will be, if the gray comes, it will be gray, then gray, and then white, and then black. Okay. Now the points that you score at the end of the game will depend on how many stones you manage to connect to each other. All right, and each set of connected stones will give you a certain number of points. So if the gray managed to come here again, there'll be 3 connected and get 6 points. And then if the gray managed to continue, then you get a lot of points. All right, so placement is quite interesting, but being able to get there is a whole different thing altogether. Now for a temple, you get a point for each stone that is visible from above. So gray, white, and black. So at the end of each round, you score 1, 1, 1, 1. So gray will get 2 points, white will get 1 point, black will get 1 point. Now if later on, if this first row is filled up, right, the next row of stones that goes in will be stacked on top. So that means that you potentially could hide your opponent's stones and then you get a point yourself, or just cause them to get less points. So it's another very interesting way where the order matters. The pyramid is also you put in stone from the column and then the row. So in this case, gray will get 3 points, and then white will get 3 points as well. So in this case, white is an advantage because using 1 stone he gets 3 points, whereas gray used 2 stones to get 3 points, and then black will get 2 points. Now once the first level is filled up, the next level will be scored in this way: 2, 3, 1, 3, and then the last level get 4 points. And then every stone after that you ship to temple, you get only 1 point. So if you want to screw your neighbors, if the temple is filled up, you can always send them to temple, and then the pyramid, and then you only get 1 point. All right. Take note that you can only ship ships to docks where it's empty, and you cannot bring them to a dock where it's already full. Now the other side is also very interesting. So in this case, the pyramid on the other side has 3 different pyramids you can ship them to, and they give different abilities as well. All right. So there's a lot of varieties that you can play with, a lot of different combinations you can play with, and yeah, and so the game will end at the end of the 6th round, and then you just do a final scoring, and based on all the stuff that give you final scorings, like the cards and some of this, like the obelisk will give you final scoring, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the game will win the game. So let's go to my thoughts about Imhotep. Alright, so what do you think of Imhotep? I really like the game. I like that there's variant A, variant B on the different monuments that you can build, and they have different scoring abilities, so there's a lot of replayability, and you can combine them in different ways that you want. For example, you can have 2 variant A's and 3 variant B's, and then so there's many different combinations of play that you can have, so you can find the best optimum combination that you really like. I really like how you need to think what your opponents are trying to do and trying to outsmart them. You can screw with them a lot as well. You can decide that, oh, okay, or you guys calling me out of that ship, I'm going to ship the ship to somewhere else that will not help you at all. There's a lot of chanting involved. I really like the game. Like, for example, I like Ra, where you chant Ra Ra Ra, and now in this game you'll probably like go ship it, ship it, ship it. You're trying to convince your opponents or your neighbors to you need to block that person. You need to make sure that person does not score that many points. So you need to do your job. You need to make sure that you block him, and so there's a lot of social elements going on. A lot of people are like shouting each other, are trying to convince them to do the right thing, while you're trying to help yourself as well. So, and the thing about the game is that everything is open-ended. There's no hidden scoring. Even the market cards you get, which will give you victory points at the end of the game, is all open. So you roughly know how many points each opponents are getting, and so you can deduce or plan to make sure that they do not get as many points as you, and so that when the game ends, you still get the most points and win the game. So this is a lot of fun. I came to the game when I started playing the game, I wasn't sure what to expect. I kind of like, I thought it might be a very simple game. Some people have mentioned it's a light game, but depending on the game group that you're playing with, it can get very backstabby and very bloodthirsty actually, as the game progresses. So I recommend Imhotep, and I'd like to thank Ravensburger and Kosmos for this review copy, and thank you so much for watching. Say bye, Comet. Bye. Thank you for watching.